Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to when a gang leader confronted Mike Tyson. Now, I think this was Mike Tyson in his prime as well, who for me personally, I know a lot of you guys may disagree, I personally believe in 1986, I don't think there was a boxer ever who could probably beat Mike Tyson in a fight, in a ring fight. I just don't know. Maybe Klitschko, Vitaly, maybe, just because he was so much bigger. For me, I think Vitaly Klitschko is a top 3 heavyweight of all time. But Mike Tyson, in that brief period from 86 to 87, I think, or maybe it was 85 to 87, the guy was just a ruthless destroyer. So fast and so powerful. But anyway, I just don't know why a gang leader would do this. Obviously, a gang leader's probably got weapons, which obviously, you know, that equalizes the skill level of both fighters for sure. But if the gang leader had no weapons and it was just a straight up fist fight, dude, you're gonna get put to sleep, man, quickly. So I'm eager to find out what happened in this story. It's gonna be a fun one. Let's do it.
This gonna be a fight, Tyson, and you know it. You hit me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
He pulled his glasses off. Did you see his eye? His eye.
Wow, look at young Steve Harvey, man, with hair. Don't think I've ever seen him with hair before.
Just hanging out his head.
On today's video, we revisit the infamous two-fight saga between Mike Tyson and Mitch Blood Green. A genuine beef that 10 rounds of boxing couldn't squash, as the two would face off one more time on the street, this time in a much shorter affair with a decisive victor. Let's get right to it.
Tyson, man, he was just built perfectly for what he did. You know, compact, thick neck, meaning that if you punch him, he's going to have a lot of damage. He's got a great chin, hugely powerful, one of my favorite fighters of all time.
Closing with a flurry. The bell is going to sound.
Whoa,
After
easy,
Tyson's
easy.
10-round decision to James Quick Tillis in 1986, the invincibility aura from Kid Dynamite took a slight knock as the two heavyweights battled out a much closer fight than the boxing fans and bookmakers expected.
How disappointed are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved, and I'm confident if I wanted to, I could have knocked them out.
It was Tyson's first time going the distance, as he had finished his previous 19 opponents all inside the opening 2 or 3
low he
rounds.
gets.
That gave some of the other heavyweight contenders an incentive to catch this teenage dynamo early, halt the hype train, and earn the highest possible payday outside of a championship fight.
Tyson say, gonna give me a fight. I want Mike Tyson. Point blank. Michelle Tyson. He's a mo. I'm gonna knock him out.
Mitch Blood Green was one of the first fighters to utilize the new age of digital camcorders to get his message out there to boxing fans.
Now I'm gonna show you something. Feast your eyes on a real heavyweight.
There was no social media in those days, but local news stations and televised sports networks such as HBO would air the clips during a broadcast to gauge the fans' reaction.
Wow, man, different time. No social media at all. Just honestly, man, just a different time. Like, you guys that, you know, lived through this period, let me know how life was back then, before social media, before the internet, pretty much. Would you say better or worse?
Power! I ain't no joke. My name is Blood Green, and you heard my fight. Watch my smoke.
It's probably due to audio compression over time, but I can honestly say I have difficulty understanding what Mitch Green is saying.
Yeah.
Two clear things were the muscle flexing and homophobic slurs, and bizarrely enough, as far as my research suggests, this was enough to land him a shot at the hottest prospect in world boxing.
So he got the fight he wanted.
Growing up on the tough streets of Detroit, Mitch Green was a prominent player in 1970s New York gang warfare. By the age of 17, he had witnessed his father lose his life in a bizarre Western-style quick-draw shootout, not long before being shot twice himself, fortunately escaping with non-fatal injuries. Green tried to escape gang life by joining the UBA boxing gym in New York. But by this time, his ties to the street were too pronounced, as he was now hailed the king of New York street gangs by the NYPD for his role as gang leader in the Deadly Bloods crew. Things slowly started to change for Mitch as his reputation as a gang leader was exceeded by that of a talented amateur boxer, the muscular 6'5" big man that was racking up copious tournament success, including several New York Golden Gloves.
From the Bronx, New York, undefeated in 5 professional bouts with 1 draw.
Green took to the professional ring in 1980 and quickly started racking up wins over journeyman and fringe contenders such as...
I mean, so this guy, he's not a bum. He's not just like a tin can. He's actually a proper boxer. Fair enough. I thought it was literally just some, gang member off the street who was calling Tyson out. So he's an actual boxer.
Which is Jumbo Cummings. Champion in waiting Trevor Berbick became the first man to beat Green in 1985, where Mitch made a good account of himself, only losing by majority decision.
I see.
Both Tyson and Green were on the fringe of a world title shot, so regardless of the antics, the two were on a likely collision course. The trash talk from Green just helped build more interest in the fight, which in turn certainly struck a chord with Tyson, who openly admitted to hate...
Guy looks like a shark, man. Just this shot of his eye literally looks like a shark's eye.
...being that ugly mother effer.
What did he just say? Something about...
Which in turn certainly struck a chord with Tyson, who openly admitted to hating that ugly mother effer.
And Mike Tyson, traditionally, no robe, no socks. He says it makes him feel like a warrior, makes him feel like a gladiator.
Tyson met Green for the first time in May 1986 at Madison Square Garden.
Would you guys take a punch from prime Mike Tyson clean on the temple for $500,000? Would you guys do it? So like this Tyson here, prime, in his prime, clean on the dome. Would you do it?
It was Tyson's first match at a prestigious boxing venue and also the first to be covered by a large television network. Yet, the occasion didn't change the traditional no robe, no socks attire. He was all business and had a personal vendetta to settle with the now not so confident looking Mitch Blood Green.
And was so much a factor in the last fight that we showed you here on HBO that he didn't double up. He just was a little bit lazy, especially in the later rounds. So we'll see what he does about that against Mitch Green.
Style.
Always aggressive, right in front of his man. Now we see some head movement.
Slipping so much.
Shot. There's the left hook I was talking about.
He did draw a warning from Louis.
Ooh, the body shots.
About holding. Green's in trouble.
Just so good. The body shots to drop the hands and then he goes upstairs. Great.
Good left hand by Tyson.
Everyone has a plan until they get their mouthguard punched out of the ring in the first round. While Green had all the physical advantages, Tyson's supreme boxing skills and speed negated the gap in size and weight, backing up Green from the opening bell, slipping and countering, forcing the much bigger man into survival mode from where to go.
Big right hand against Tillis.
Oh my God, great jab.
That is an awesome shot.
Tyson punched out Green's mouthguard again in the third, whereafter he started mocking his opponent for having a wide gulping mouth, stalking him across the ring, landing fierce single power punches.
Throws his punch.
Oh, right on the jaw. Oh, and again.
Left hook.
Hey,
This
Tyson
dude is
there,
taking
good uppercut.
damage.
Just take a stand eventually.
Right in the
shot.
liver.
Well, he's smiling. Tyson is smiling, but see, Green has those fast hands.
The fight became so routine by the closing stages, the crowd knew they were witnessing a foregone conclusion.
This is just a demolition job. Just a pure demolition job from Tyson.
Tyson himself appeared to have his mind elsewhere as he bizarrely kissed his trainer, Kevin Rooney, while he was trying to deliver him intricate strategies and details regarding the fight.
Tyson, he's just crazy. This is the thing. Like back then, like Tyson now is really chilled out, really, really, really nice guy. Like it seems anyway. But back then, the guy he just wasn't all there in the head, which is even scarier because you've got this supreme boxer that just doesn't think like you and me.
Well, Kevin Rooney is in there and just jabbering away 100 miles a minute. Mike Tyson leaned over and just kissed him.
Tyson closed the show, trying to score the knockout, but Green's disinclination to engage allowed him to grab and clinch his way to safety, resulting in him losing 9 out of 10 of the rounds on every judge's scorecard.
But we knew deep inside that I was going to win this fight so easy because of his style. He's a dang tough opponent, and he took some fairly decent shots. But as you know, I won comfortably, and I didn't try for the knockout, and I used a great deal of discipline in there, not knocking him out.
Tyson claimed he carried Green the 10-round distance on purpose to punish him for as long as possible, and whether it was true or not, Green's personal pride
I believe him, to be honest. I do believe him.
was hurt, and he was willing to do whatever it took to restore a sliver of respect amongst his peers. Green retired from boxing after the Tyson loss and returned to the street to earn a living from selling drugs.
Really?
He always planned to one day get Tyson back in the ring, but as his years of inactivity ensued, Tyson progressed to one of the most dominant heavyweight champions of all time.
But I mean, he got a shot with Tyson. He must have got paid a decent amount from that. And all of the prior fights, like, he didn't really need to go back to, you know, being a gang member.
Undefeated and undisputed. The days of fighting lingering contenders such as Mitch Green were over. It wasn't until a couple of years after their fight that the two would meet again, this time in Green's element, the street. In the early hours of August 23, 1988, Mitch Green got wind that Tyson was shopping at a local clothing store close by to where he ran things on the street.
Dude.
Tyson had traveled a fair distance to pick up a luxury leather jacket handmade by one of his friends over at Dapper Dan's. As Tyson was chilling in the store with his entourage, Mitch Green burst through the door on his own, high on angel dust, demanding Tyson either give him a rematch or empty
Angel dust? What's that? Like Molly or something?
his pockets right there on the spot. Tyson, of course, no stranger to altercations on the street, dragged Mitch Green outside and pummeled him to the ground multiple times. Spectators said that the fight was short, violent, and very one-sided. In fact, it was no longer than 15 to 20 seconds, but that's more than long enough for the heavyweight champion to inflict severe damage. There is no footage of the fight, regardless of the clickbait you see on YouTube, but there were many accounts of what happened that all aligned, all except Green's account, where he claimed Tyson sucker punched him and ran.
Who threw the first punch here?
He did. He sucker punched me because he's with his friends, you know. And when he hit me, and I said I couldn't get a chance really get to him like I wanted to because everybody was like pulling me, you know, holding me, like so he could get away from me.
Do you believe him? I don't. I just don't. I don't believe that. But then again, it's possible. I doubt it though.
And so he get away, and he ran from me.
Green was certain the Tyson scuffle, which became mainstream news around the world, would add enough public intrigue to get his rival back in the ring. But Mitch had already burnt his bridges among the promoters in the sport, with his violent threats to Don King in the past already shadow banning him from ever earning any serious money in the ring again. After Green's failed attempts to get the rematch with Tyson, he filed a civil lawsuit for $20 million due to the injuries he suffered during their fight. The former gang leader came away with one small W to coincide with a long list of L's, winning the case and being awarded $45,000, close to what his purse was during their professional fight in 1986.
Yeah. He only got 45 grand for fighting Mike Tyson. Dude, I know inflation is a thing, but still, that seems really low. 45 grand. I would have thought he would have got at least $500,000 or something.
I remember seeing Mitch Green's eye after that, and it was like,
he broke his socket. Broke the eye socket. Yeah.
He broke his eye socket.
Yeah. The eye socket. You gotta hit really hard to do some like that, right?
Green returned to the ring 7 years later, but at that point he was a shell of his former self and was beaten by journeymen with losing records until he hung him up for good in 2005. As of 2022, Green is still a large-as-life character, but now employs his energy into his love of Christianity. He still has a gripe with Tyson, but I think it's fair to say the two have now moved on, and whenever the topic is brought up today, they both make light of their infamous 30-year feud.
Yeah, happens.
That didn't work. The boys scared to death. Let's do at the street fight. The boys scared to death.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't y'all have a street fight, Mitch?
For the ring, for the street. Thinking the man would do something about it. He wouldn't do nothing. Oh, man, he freaked me out.
Did you know that actually Tyson and Sal are good friends and he comes to the show? He knew, look at that.
That's him there. No way. Just ridiculous. I really enjoyed that video, honestly. Really enjoyed it. It was a great story. You gotta hand it to Mitch Green, I think his name is. You know, he called Mike out and they fought and they went the distance, even though it was pretty much, from what I saw, a one-sided beatdown. He didn't get knocked out, and this was Tyson, you know, in or very close to his prime. Although Tyson did say at the end of the fight that he purposely kept him in the fight to inflict as much damage as possible, which is, you know, pretty scary to be honest. But, you know, fair play to the guy. I still think that he should have made a lot more than what he was paid. You know, $45,000, even for the 80s, that just sounds so low, because I'm sure Tyson, I heard that Tyson back then was making like, you know, $20-30 million a fight. You know, figures that aren't too dissimilar to what fighters are making today. So it seems that, yeah, that even though it was just pretty much like an exhibition fight kind of, 45 grand seems really, really low. Let me know if you guys agree with that, your thoughts in general, and yeah, I just thought this was a really cool video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.